All
And
right,
we're live,
perfect.
huh?
And we're live. What's up, Facebook? This is Canine Freedom interview number 6. It's with my friend Bill Church that I've seen at IACP conferences a couple of times. He's a really cool guy, and I got inspired to do the Facebook Lives because of him because I've seen a couple of his videos. So, um, yeah, Bill, why don't you tell us where you're from, what's your business, and what do you specialize in?
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, man, I remember meeting you at IACP, and you have a very hungry appetite to learn, and I still see that is the case, and I'm happy to see that. And it's my honor to do this, and I'm happy that I could help you to do this. And if anybody else feels a little nudge to do something like this, I would like to encourage you to do that. The world needs to hear your voice. We all have something to learn from each other and something to teach each other. And unless we are vulnerable enough to present it, like it's not
Yep.
just enough to produce it, we actually have to present ourselves or present
Right.
whatever it is, the dogs that we train, right? Um, to show and to learn and to grow and to understand and so this is wonderful. I'm glad that you're doing this, and I was happy that you contacted me. I own Bow Wow Bill's Dog Training. I'm just north of Seattle, Washington, and Arlington, Washington. It's about 45 miles north. I got a little ranch up here. I've been working with dogs since I was a young kid, and I mostly work with family dogs, and that's what I specialize in. I recently started breeding my own dogs, and it's been so much fun during this little crazy pandemic time. What a crazy time, huh, Kevin?
Yep. Hashtag COVID.
Hashtag COVID. And and I've always wanted to breed dogs and work with that, but it was a perfect opportunity now, and I saw that there was a need for puppies, and there is such a thing as a COVID puppy, and so now I'm glad that we're talking about family dogs because a lot of these families might have gotten a new puppy. I see so many puppies when I'm driving through Seattle and north of Seattle, and I really like it. It warms my heart to see so many people, taking that experience with that dog. It's just that's where we come in as professionals to help them open up the lines of communication and to ensure a good relationship that is beneficial for the dog, for the family, and also for the kids. And there's just so much value that a dog can bring to that family unit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's like everyone's at home, especially everyone's doing like Zoom school, and people just think it's a perfect time to just get a dog, just keep everyone busy. But of course, there are setbacks, and of course, it's just like there's gonna be some hiccups about with the family and how they interact with the dog. But I'm working with a couple of families with their puppies, and Bill, what are some common problems that you see when families bring in puppies to their house?
Oh, well, puppies is potty training.
Yeah.
Potty training and biting. How do I get them to stop biting so much, right?
Hmm.
And then older dogs, it's for families, it's mostly barking at the door, greeting ritual stuff, type of stuff. How do we get them to have better manners with this? Um, and sometimes it could be potty issues or bathroom issues in the house with older dogs, or just mostly reactivity is what I
Sure.
deal with. But puppies is definitely potty training, you know.
Hmm.
And what I tell my clients is, first and foremost, I have a little wish list that I have made on Amazon. That's a dog training wish list. And I'll put down in the comments down below here after we're done with the stream. And it's just basically all the items that I'm always recommending for my clients off Amazon to get. It's a
Oh,
nice little
sweet.
bundle of like dog training, stuff. And so what's in there is an X pen, and an X pen is like a little portable fence that you can move around and contain that dog's area to give them a little bit bigger area than that crate. But
Yep.
I tell people that puppies, they have that little mind and that little brain because they're just a puppy, and therefore they need that little world to go with that little brain. And I
Yep.
find that people, open up the world way too quickly to these dogs, and allow way too much freedom without that
Yep.
structure being in place. Um, to give that dog, kind of a semblance of what's expected of them, and also what world they're in, and they're in a human world. And there's lots of contraptions that we have, cars and vehicles and motorcycles, skateboards, bicycles, scooters. There's so many things that we make
Hmm.
that could freak out a puppy, and so I let them know, look, observe that animal, see what things we have to work on, and but get that dog on a schedule too, right? And so I send them that wish list for dog training stuff, and then get them on that X pen, and then I tell them, take that dog on outside every hour on the hour, and
Hmm.
just get them. What you want to do is you want them to recognize that pattern, that as soon as I come outside, if I go to the bathroom, boom, there's a party time, right? And it's basically, repetition is the mother of learning with all living creatures,
Hmm.
right? And so
Yes,
we have
sir.
to take them out over and over and over and be patient. And so I will have an X pen outside as well. And I have puppies right out here that I do this with. And so I'll take them outside, I'll put them in that X pen outside, and I'll give them the potty command, which my potty command is like a gun from the hip, like that. And I just say, I say, go potty, or go potty. And
Yep.
then when they go, then I praise high, happy tones, and then immediately back into the house and back
Yep.
into that enrichment, and then once that dog gets it, once I set them down out there, and then boom, they go to the bathroom immediately. It just takes that consistency,
Oh
and so
yeah.
that's.
No.
But
No.
limiting that
Definitely.
dog's space is humongous. If they got too much space, and they're going to sneak off and go to the bathroom somewhere, and we have to catch them in the act if we want to address that behavior.
Yep. Yeah. What's up, Adrian? Let's see.
What's
Hey,
up,
hey,
Adrian?
Michaela. Good to see you tuning in.
Oh, dude, I
Um,
need to get my computer so I can share it on my wall. I wonder if I can. Do you care? Let me grab my computer just a
yeah.
second.
No. Go for it. Go for it, man.
Please hold. And I can hear you too, so I got my headphones on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I saw you buy headphones too, man. I was like, I'm gonna buy my own and make sure my audio is a lot better.
yeah, these ones are. I think they're just the Bluetooth, and I'm using my phone, and typically I use my computer with this stuff. So I can share this on my Bow Wow Bill page, and then I can share it on um, my personal page as well.
No
And so
problem, dude.
let me do that. And so, yeah, bathroom habits. And then also, the first thing that I recommend with puppies is get them around other puppies,
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I think that it's a great. What do you think, Kevin? What's your 2 cents on that in the time that you've been working in the industry and your observations?
With me, I want to have like a bit of a balance between like puppies and a couple of good role model like older dogs, just like a couple, because it's like for me, I don't want my clients just bringing their puppies to like dog parks or just I just tell them to be smart and just ask around their friends or like neighbors if they have like a really nice easygoing older dog that they can be around. And
Yeah.
just because it's like eventually they're gonna grow up to be like older dogs, so at least they can learn to be around them. But like I definitely promote just having them play with puppies that have the same play style as them, like whether it's chase each other or a little bit of a rough house kind of thing. I just like the bit of the balance, but yeah, for sure, I definitely am always happy to let puppies play with other puppies.
Yeah.
That's actually why I have like my large field puppy socials, and my clients love it, and I'm there to just help if there's any bullying or anything like that. But no, they get that chance, and a lot of puppies enjoy it.
I think what you were saying about like a nice mellow dog, you know, I think it's valuable for puppies to be around other puppies. And I compare it to when we were young kids, and how we played versus as adults, our wants and desires change as we get older. And I see these puppies just being super goofballs with other puppies,
Hmm.
and I let them, and I see those puppies, but I also have dogs that are 3, 4 years old, and that, I just tell people they're just an older puppy, because they are
Right.
adult dogs that are really good at recognizing when a puppy is kind of shut down and overwhelmed and needs a little help in getting out of their shell. And I have a pug named Sid who's legendary for that, and I'm thankful for dogs like that. But for the most part, I like to have the puppies with puppies. I like to have, unless I know that dog through and through. And, it's just, I think, a good thing to do, a good experience for those dogs to draw back on. And it's the formative years, or the formative, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
we want to give them a large format, a lot of experiences, a lot of good stuff to draw back on from the whole life, right? And so,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's important to take them to different environments. But it's also important for them to feel safe in those different environments too. And like what you were saying, no dog parks. I don't hardly ever go to dog parks. I like what Chad Mackin was saying on one of his podcasts. They call it disease fight clubs, and who originally said that. But it's true, man. I see a lot of posturing. It becomes a volatile space because I don't know, it becomes a steam vent for some of these dogs that really don't have that at home. And they go there and it becomes manic behavior. And other dogs don't appreciate that, and some dogs are fine with it. And then you also have the dogs that pack up, the dogs that go there over and over and over and over again and start to pack up with each other. And dogs
Yep.
don't look at new dogs as a friend automatically. Usually, sometimes they look at them as an intruder, or what do you want type of thing. And so, um,
Yep. Yeah, it's like they have their own clique, and then as soon as like someone new comes in, they're just like, let's go haze this guy, or let's just haze this new dog. And I usually call it, like, for my clients, I call it dog parks, like shady ass bars. And you don't want to bring your kids to shady ass bars, because if people you don't know where people are coming from, and you don't know the bad influences, and there's just people that are just sitting on their phones while their dogs are just doing crap. And yeah, it's just like how you said, that's their only outlet to blow some steam. And then it's like the minute, like with these puppies who are having their social period, where like maybe 2, 3, 4 months, and then they get bombarded by this older dog, or like they get stepped on by the older dog. That's when they like freak out. They don't have a great association with dogs. And then you get people that are just like, oh my god, my poor baby. And then they like super caught it, which, little bit like just making sure the puppy's okay, I understand. But they're just like, my baby, and then never take the
yeah,
never take them around dogs again until like they get a little older. And then the dog's just like, oh my god, there's dogs, I need to keep you away from me, kind of thing.
yeah, based on that one experience,
Yeah.
and that's where, I mean, when those experiences happen, I mean, and you can see, and it's natural because we're nurturers by nature, human beings are, and I can see the face of my clients, especially my female clients. But as a family dog trainer, 85% of my clients are female.
Right.
85% of them, and usually about 28 to 65 years of age is
Yep.
the span of the clientele that I'm working with. But the vast majority are female,
Yep.
and I'm trying to get them to understand the predator mind, which a dog is, right? And then
Hmm.
also that nurturing mind, which a human is. And then how do we balance that? And so we can, get a good relationship between them in an understanding way.
Yeah.
And that's where, sometimes I see the dog getting overwhelmed, the person getting overwhelmed, and I'm just like, let's take a second here and let's just wait. Let's expand on this moment, and let's talk about what just happened. And let's really talk about why this happened. And then also, I see them feeling bad, and they want to force the subject, where especially when we're bringing in a new puppy into a socialization type of event or whatnot, and that puppy, you can tell, is definitely shy, right? And they just need time. They need time, and they don't need to be pressured. They don't need to, be forced to socialize. They need to kind of find it out on their own.
Yep.
And that's where I am, especially to tell them to back off, and to let them figure it out on their own. And as Bart Bellin says, let the dog do. I said, let the dog do. Let the dog figure it
Hmm.
out that they're safe. And and that's also pre training and but also if that dog is hurt in your care, I mean that's detrimental, I think, to could build some apprehension to that in that relationship.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, with most of the reactive dogs that I work with, they don't trust the owners to keep them safe. So the or like the owners freak out or they get nervous when they see the dog, and then the dog's gonna sense that and just like, why are you freaking out? Oh, is it because of
Hmm.
this dog coming up the hedge? Oh, let me take care of this for you. And we end up being like the damsel in distress, and that the dog's like the takes
I'll
the role
save
of
you.
street protector or like street fighter, where it's just I'm
Hmm.
gonna keep these other dogs away, along with the insecurities that it has along with from the past experience. Um, but yeah, going back to like when how most of the clients that you work with, they're like moms or like they're women. Like from me working with a couple of families and with their moms, it's just like I feel like the moms take in all the responsibility, like from just like they handle the kids, they feed the
Yep.
kids, and then they're the nurturer that take care of the puppies and are sometimes home with the puppies while the husbands are at work, gone out to work. Or I see them a lot. They take all the work in, and they have to add the dog training that um to that list of things to do. So with feeding the kids, making sure everything's clean and just everything. Do you get that a lot with the moms handling a lot of that responsibility?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just shared, I got it finally to work with my computer. It was bugging out on me, so I should be
Sweet.
giving you my full undivided attention now. I hate it when something's always grabbing at you, but yeah, Kevin, I mean, the whole dynamic of that family unit, the mom, I mean, is the glue usually that's holding that family together. And the
Yep.
mom cares enough to look after the livelihood of that animal, right? And that's where I see it. I think it's a wonderful thing that they are very considerate, and they're so
Yep.
considerate they want to make sure that their animal is fulfilled as well.
Yep.
It's just that a lot of times it's counterintuitive on how to go about that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So I'm like think so like if you because I get a lot of moms that are just I have this mom that has three kids, and she has this little dachshund looking thing. It's like a dachshund terrier, makes it adorable. His name's Bowser of all names. But you know, when we do our training sessions and we're working with a dog, we're going over some common stuff like uh, overexcitement with jumping or like biting with the kids, or just going over how the kids can approach the dog without overwhelming the puppy, just because with all kids are just full of energy, just running around or just like screaming, and the puppies are like, "Oh my god, that's so much fun!" It,
yeah.
it's so much to handle. And then like while I'm talking with mom, I get the kids just running downstairs with their friends, wearing helmets or like playing dress up, and then they're like, mom's just yelling, "Do it outside or do it in the garage," and it's just so much for them to handle. And I always like pat them on the shoulder, just like, "You're doing good, mom. It's not you're a great mom. You're really And again, shout outs to all the hardworking moms out there with dogs and just in general, because mom is a full-time job on its own. So
Amen. And then I appreciate it near enough. And every child is different, and that's where like some trainers really come down on their clients, and I don't, man. I'm like, look, I don't know what your life is about, but I've seen some snapshots of it, and I know that it's pretty chaotic, and a lot of my clients have very busy lives, very big lives, some of my clients have. And I'm just honored to be part of that. And that's what we are, and we need to recognize that role as a professional, is like that's what we are. We are kind of that help of the dog. We are that helper, and that's what we've chosen to trade our lives to do. And so, every time I have that opportunity, I'm so grateful. but yeah, man, I see it, and I don't have kids myself, so I can but I know a lot of friends that do, and I see it every single day, and it's a full-time gig in itself, man, and a lot of the stuff correlates. I tell with the dog training with the kids, and the stuff that mainly correlates is going to be the schedule, the follow through, right,
Hmm.
and the staying calm, that calm like assertiveness. And I tell people, like, when you're getting on your dog, it's kind of like the same energy. It's like you're getting on your kids in a formal situation, like a really nice dinner or church or something like that, and they're acting up. It's like you just kind of don't make a big deal about it, but they realize that they need to knock that off pretty quickly.
Yep.
And right.
Yeah, I just yeah, like there's the same mom was talking with. She was like telling me how she almost tripped with a big pot of water while she was cooking, and then the dog was like right behind her leg, and then she was like this close about tripping, and so it was just like asking. She was asking me, how do I make the dog? How do I do a send away or make the dog give me
Mm,
more space when
mm,
I'm just in general, just because the dog's so clingy, but knowing moms is like they just want some time for themselves, even if it's like 10 minutes or 30 minutes. And I just told him, and then I just watched her like send her kids away, like go, like guys get out or guys go, and
yeah.
the kids followed. I'm just like, it's like, well, you're not going to be yelling at the dog to go, but you want to have that same mom atmosphere, just that assertive mom where you're telling
Mama
him,
bear,
mama bear,
mama bear heart. Tap into that mama bear heart and
right?
just be like,
Mama
roar.
right? Mama bear power, and just you use that with body language and just like you show your dog what you want exactly, some guidance, and you just show him what you want exactly, rather than just say, Bowser, go away, Bowser, go.
That's right. Well, and
So
visualize it too. Visualize what happens in here happens out here, as within, so without, as
yep,
above, so below, one of the Hermetic principles. And it says, Michaela was saying a couple things here. Speaking of new puppies, someone begs you to take a dog and potty train it, all with
along with
basics. Oh,
yeah,
you got it. Along with basics. The pup is 5 months old. I told him the price will be discussed it as each week. The owner, all he can focus on is ask, and will she be fully trained in a week or two? What your
definitely not.
response read be? Yeah, to when the dog is only 5 months old and a husky. I try to explain to him, and she is a newborn. Asked, going to be looking at three different phases of mentality of training. Pup is ready to do so mentally. Yeah, I mean every dog is different, and we're dealing with behavior. We're dealing with a living creature, and we're not dealing with this device in our pocket, or like electronic or anything. It's the expectations are going to happen when they happen, and I mean the expectations are we can provide a window of when that behavior should be extinguished, but I mean there's no real guarantees, and sometimes there's setbacks that may happen. You take the dog out to go potty and a tree branch breaks and crashes right next to him, some act of God um, that we couldn't control, and now we're back at square one, if not square
Hmm.
-2, right? And so we go with that. What we go with the dog we're working with the dog at the end of the leash. We're working with that individual, and knowing that every individual dog is that an individual, and those
Yep.
wants and desires that individual dog has. Um, and huskies, oh boy, huskies are
Man,
definitely, I call them eclectic dogs.
man,
Um,
I still, yeah, I still need to go down to like Nelson Hodges like workshops and
yes, you
do
do.
that thing, and just see what he does, because it's like I tell people all the time about him, and him having like six huskies and all that, and they're like
You,
they're like
you should have
what?
him on. You should talk to him definitely on this thing.
Oh, I
I think
should.
he'd be down. But yeah, you should definitely plan on having that in your repertoire of going and learning from Nelson. He's definitely a great guy to teach you how to read dogs, and how to tell you. I'm always telling people to become the dog by proxy, to understand how the dog views the world, so we can kind of look through the eyes of that animal and see the world
Hmm.
as they see it, instead of the opposite, which is anthropomorphizing the animal or putting human characteristics And that's the number one mistake that I see people doing, right? And so,
Yeah. Yeah. No, the dogs are simple, but we humans just make it complicated.
yeah.
It's definitely the
Well,
case.
Macaulay says that I tried to explain to him that the pup has years of training ahead of her. And people ask me, how long do I train my dog for? And I'm like, forever. I'm like, it's a lifelong endeavor, man.
For real.
It's not only that, but I mean, it's something that um, once they know this, then we work on, right, the four variables of training: distance, distraction, duration, location, right? And so we have all of those ways that we can improve proof, generalize, and to help our dog understand, and to for us to open up the lines of communication.
Actually,
Um,
cool. Yeah, we actually have one question, I think. It's Rebecca. How do you
that's my
handle a dog?
sister.
Oh, it's your sister.
That's
Oh,
my
hi, Rebecca.
sister.
I was just like, wait, church. Oh, okay. I was like, it's a relative of yours. How do you handle
Yep.
a dog with people and dog anxiety?
Yeah, I mean, arousal control is the key. I think that I mean, my little nephew just contacted me, wants to train up his girlfriend's dog, and
Mm,
so I'm like, bring him on by, buddy, and that's it. It's to meet the animal, but also see how they deal with a new environment, how they deal with me, and then also look at how old that animal is, what the triggers are, and how we can get that dog to be open and receptive to building a relationship. And sometimes that
yeah,
just takes time, as I was saying earlier. I don't want to force it. Whenever I meet a dog, I'm not even looking at that dog hardly. I'm not
mm,
touching it. I'm not anything. I'm like acknowledging that there's a dog in the space, kind of energetically, right? I'm not
right.
focusing on the animal. I'm not really interested in touching that animal. Um, and some people, I've talked about this before, some people they get me to meet their dog, and then they're kind of upset that I'm not touching the animal, right? And I'm just like, I don't want to push the boundaries of a relationship that is just beginning. I don't want to move too quickly.
Yep, just
And
like a date. Just like when you're going on a date, you don't want to rush too quickly.
don't want to move in for the kiss when don't know. You got to seal the deal. You know what I'm saying?
You have to listen to Jason's Cohen's one. Like I was trying to compare it, and then it was like I went with the dog where it's like a chin rub, and then he was like asking me, Kevin, after the fifth day, you're expecting a chin rub of all things. I was just like, that's not what I meant. He caught me off guard so bad that when I said that, but yeah, no, it's just everything everything's work, it's just like raising a kid is even tougher because you got to pay for like tuition, you got to like make it food. It's just like when people ask me, when can I leave my dog home alone, I'm like, well, let me ask you, do you leave your child who's like 3 years old or a 6 year old at home? He's like, and they go with like, hell no, without question. And I'm just like, so yeah, exactly. So you don't want to leave your dog giving the whole house to himself when you leave him at home, when you have nobody at home, because the same thing that your kid's gonna do is gonna be just that, or maybe a little bit worse, or could be harmful for that dog, But they just have to like they just have to think about it in that sense, and just especially when they're raising a puppy, where it's just like you have to show them everything. Like, can't give them all that freedom, gotta show them the rules, just like with the kid. And just like, hey, don't put your 2 feet up on the counter. Hey, um don't chew don't chew the carpet. This is where, and there's your pot, you go potty here. And I just realized this, we don't complain about our kids being house trained because they wear diapers. It's just like
Yeah,
we don't talk. We just like, oh, he pooped in the diaper. Okay, cool. If he
go
wasn't
clean
wearing
them
a
up.
di- if he wasn't wearing a diaper, that's where we get a lot of
We
people
have
that be like,
problems.
that's where it's just like, oh, he peed in the living room, or like, yeah, my kid, took a dump by the backyard door when he was supposed to hold it till he went out. It's like the only difference is your kid's wearing a diaper.
Yeah.
Their puppy
Well,
doesn't have.
there are some parenting or philosophies that go way back into that.
Yep.
The wild kid or something like that. Michael Miller, nice to see you live again, Bill. So I'm not live. Kevin's live. and he invited me to come on his show. So that's why I'm live. And I'll go live again. I got to get a new computer. I'm on my iPhone right now, but I will be going live on my Bow Wow Bill page again. And I was telling, because they're using a StreamYard, I was using BeLive, and BeLive sucks. And it kept crashing on me. And
Yep.
the first interview that I'll be doing is back with my friend Malpal, who's a CBD expert. And I was
Hmm.
trying to go live with her and talking about all these stories about CBD, cannabidiol, and the treatments that she's seen dogs that have, come back from being like really, really stiff and old, and to running around and being like little puppies again. Carrie Hall has a video with that CBD oil and the dogs that are really apprehensive to having their nails trimmed. And that,
Hmm.
as a family trainer, that's another thing that I see a lot is the nails have a big problem with that because they haven't been conditioned correctly. Um, and so any way that I can have a tool or anything that I can implement to help open that dog up to a new experience. So,
For
um,
sure. Thanks so
yeah.
thanks so thanks,
Thanks,
thanks so
Mike.
much, Michael. Well, there's definitely a couple more. I've got Larry Cohn, I got Chad Mackin, and I got
Good.
Adrian too. So it's I've been getting better at this, so it's been super fun. Um,
Well,
let's
keep it
see.
up, man. This is how, and the thing is, Kevin, is what I learned is that I just wanted to do this to introduce people to different people that I've met through IACP, and just cool people that I think sometimes my clients have a misconception about who I am and what I do and the people that I hang out with. And it's really something that, like I said earlier, I've traded my life for this. It's something that's a passion of mine. I work with dogs all day, and then I go vacation with my dogs and play with them, and I love what I do, and I feel like it's definitely a huge gift. And the other thing is that I think that as I've done these interviews, I have learned more, and I think you will too, man, about you'll just get a better, more round understanding about these different philosophies and the people that have taught them. And the other person I recommend is get Fred Hassan, who's Sit Means Sit. The
Hmm.
CEO and founder of Sit Means Sit. Bart Bellin, of course, Bart and Michael. Michael Bellin is a wealth of knowledge, and Bart as well as. I mean, it's just a good thing that you're doing here, Kevin, and I encourage you to keep it up, okay?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I'm always learning, whether I'm watching some online course or just going to workshops eventually once COVID dies down a little bit. I just I just keep on going, man. It's just so much fun. I feel I have fun being the teacher's pet, so just to go do my job where I help improve the lives with clients and their dogs, and then on the
Yeah.
side I go out venturing to see all these other great trainers, like Nelson. He's definitely one of my hit list. Um,
Your hit list.
yeah, my hit list. Like I got him. I got Jason Vasconi. I definitely want to learn from Chad Mackin as well. I mean, there's like, and even like the guys down in Australia, with Pat Stewart and Glenn Cook,
Yeah.
all those, all those people, man. And the list just keeps going. That just keep going, even though it's just like I go to one or two workshops. I'm just like, it'll just keep going because I hear all these names, and yeah, it just helps me become a better trainer. Just have a bigger toolbox for everybody. But
Well,
let's see.
speaking of tools, like the first thing that I recommend when somebody calls me is I'm like, is your dog kennel trained? Is your dog crate trained? And I was like, and they're like, not really. I was like, do you have a crate? And they always, almost always, yeah, it's in the garage. And I'm like, dust that sucker off. Let's. Sometimes you have to take a couple steps back so we could take 10 steps forward. And
Yeah.
I want that dog crate trained. I use that crate a lot of times with the training that I do. I want that dog to be, thankful to be sprung from that reprieve, but also ready to learn, right? And
Hmm.
so a lot of times that crate is a perfect tool for that. We isolate the dog in there, and then
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. I mean, especially it's just a place where your dog can just have a quiet nap time if you just some downtime after you work just put it together process because I can just see where after the training session, he's just gonna go and run with the kids, or he's just gonna go do something where he's not gonna digest all that info. Or dogs, they need like 13 to 15 hours of sleep, so it's just dogs with most family dogs, because it's so loud, it's so hyper, so crazy. All these dogs are just like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Or just when they're just trying to sleep, screaming, wake up, or just like go to sleep, door slams, wake up. And so there's these dogs are just acting like us with 3 hours of sleep with Red Bull, 3 cans of Red Bull, and they're just shot up. They're just like, oh my God, what's going on? And just giving those dogs nap times, just like how we put away kids for nap times, is such an important thing. Um,
Yeah, they say for every hour lost of sleep is a grade dropped at a kid's like IQ level, right?
mhm.
And so same thing with those dogs, man. And so I tell those kids, leave this dog alone if he's in his crate. Like this dog is invisible when he's in this box. You don't mess with this dog. And I was like, don't make your parents call Bow Wow Bill. I'm not just here for the dogs, but I'm here for you kids too, to make sure that make I'm looking out for the best interest of this animal. And so I tell them
Yep.
whenever they're on the place, I do the place like a cot or something like that, and let the dog understand that it's a duration command. They have to stay there, and it
Mhm.
becomes a cue, a calming cue, right? And the dog, once they get on there, they realize, oh, I can relax. And you see these dogs, they go right to sleep, man. Once they get trained on the cot, and then once they get in that crate, once it's trained properly. In fact, I got dogs right before I went live with you. I put a dog right here in a crate,
Yep.
right, and I have two more right there, and I have another one right here. And that's it, man. They're not in here freaking out or barking. They're snoozing because that's what they do. In fact, here I'll open up one of the crates just so I can prove to you that I got a knucklehead in here. I don't know if you can see her. Come here, knucklehead. Here she is. There's
Oh,
Pecan.
there she is. Cutest skipper key that I've seen so far. Like I definitely want pecan or whatever,
Kennel.
whichever one you breed.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be breeding her next. So she should be coming into heat in the next couple months, and we'll see what happens. Pecan, kennel. And so there she goes right back in that kennel. We shut the door, and then she's good to go, for the whole conversation that I have with you. And that's because that's been introduced to her in a proper way. They sleep in those, from the day they've gotten here.
Mm-hmm.
If I catch them taking a nap, I will try to scoop them up and slide them in their crate. So I put them in a nice safe spot that they can crash out and really, really get that beneficial deep sleep, right?
Yep.
Um, and whenever I use those crates a lot. They're very valuable. I get these impact crates too. I don't know if you can see those other crates that I have
Yeah, I
there.
saw. Yeah, that's
And
cool.
yeah, those are, I mean, for my other dogs, I like to have the best. I like to, and I like these because they fold down to these little suitcases when I'm not using them, right? And
Oh
so
wow.
that's why I enjoy those. But that's one of the first things that I do as a pet dog trainer is get an understanding, is this dog crate trained, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my Belgian Malinois, like I fed her in the crate since she was a puppy, and she just goes in. Now it's like, out of all the places she could sleep on the bed, she could sleep on the carpet, she could sleep on the couch. She's already in her crate right now. She just flipped over on her hind legs like this, and she just snoozing. You know,
Yeah.
she just loves that crate so much, and I don't use it for anything like punishment or anything like that, or I just give it for good times, just Kongs, and just
I'll use mine for punishment if there's, I mean, but sometimes if you use it for punishment, then I think they guard it, too,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
A little bit more. Um, but it's like a little vehicle, right? That they're
sure,
protected. Like when we go in a car, we're protected on all sides.
sure.
And so they can really, really, they don't have to worry about the sides. They don't have to worry about the tops. They only have to worry about the front. And then once they
Hmm.
get over that door closing, then they don't have to worry about anything, and they can really, like you said, zonk out where they're. I'm
Yeah,
being
man.
lazy dogs, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see her or not, but just, like, if I
I
can just.
can't. It's a little dark. You got a light? Oh, there she is. Yeah, I can see her now. Nice.
Yep.
And the door is wide open. You know, she doesn't need
Nor,
to be in there if she doesn't want to be. And, you know,
nah, that's her first choice, man. Like, so whenever she had a choice, she'll hang with me in the bed. Then when it gets too hot, she's like, I'm going in the crate. This is my space.
yeah.
Um,
Well, and that's it, man. It's like people, it's their dog. And I'm not, I do study like the different dog sports and whatnot because I find it very interesting. I don't really practice it myself, like Schutzhund, IPO, any of that stuff, IPA. Um, but I've learned it and I've learned people and watch it and I definitely appreciate it. And I can glean some aspects of that world to help with the pet dog world, right?
yep,
And I think that, we can, and that's my goal with interviewing so many people in the pet dog and working dog world is to create a harmonic or a relationship that we can benefit and glean knowledge that we can help improve the lives of our dogs, right?
yep, yeah, Bill. So, like, do you get during when you work with families with their dogs, like, do you get a lot where the kids get picked on by the dogs, or the kids get too excited where the dogs start to, like, go after them more and, like, playing, or just get too rough? Or I also feel like the other way around, where the kids approach the dog too rough, or they just scoop them up or squeeze them, like, kind of thing. Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times it's understanding not just the kid or the dog as an individual, but that kid as an individual too. And
Mm-hmm.
how to reach that kid to make them understand that maybe you need to find a different approach with this relationship with this animal.
Yep.
And sometimes I've been referred to by court cases that kids have been bit by the dog
Mm-hmm.
and to deem if that dog is a dangerous dog, right? In
Right.
most cases, it's not. It's most cases, it's like, no, we need some training and we need to understand that we need to have some protocols or boundaries in place to ensure that this does not happen again. But most times it was a kid overwhelming a dog, not recognizing those telltale sounds of overwhelm that the dog has been exhibiting, growls, escaping, and the dog, the one of the cases that come to mind where a kid got bit in the lip, he chased after that dog, and I said, and the kid was like 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what were you doing chasing after the dog? And he says, I was a monster. Ah, and I'm just like, oh, dude, you can't do that, And
Yeah.
and it just makes sense that because these kids are gonna be kids, you know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And that's why I tell them, don't mess with this dog in the crate. Don't mess with this dog on this place. Um, Otherwise, you're gonna be in trouble by Bow Wow Bill, and it's not, we don't do that. We need to let this dog have its own space that they can be safe and they don't feel like they need to lash out or to correct that child.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and those dogs, they recognize that juvenile energy, man. And sometimes, like, whenever the parents tell me that it's the kid's dog, I'm like, yeah, it's your dog. It's not I mean, the kid will definitely, it's a valuable lesson to teach the kid how to deal with conflict, how to have a good relationship, um, how to stay calm. I mean, there's just how to be a good leader, right?
Yep.
There's so many things that we can absolutely instill that are lifelong lessons in that child that are created or even spawned from a relationship with a dog.
Yep.
But to expect that that child is going to take full responsibility of that dog, I think is you're going to set yourself up for some disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, and I mean, just when you have kids, just I like when I talk to kids when working with the dog. Like, I tried, like, me talking to them like an adult is hard, because they're not fully equipped to comprehend, or just learn like that. So then, like, I end up making it like a game where we're gonna play the stop and, like, like this I learned from this from another dog trainer who works with a lot of like kids and dogs, but like a stop and drop or stop and tuck where you like if the puppy starts getting too much, you just freeze, you just tuck your hands away and then just look the other way, or just no, there's so many things like even just having your kids just practice like basic commands like sit down, stay with the dog, and this way the dog just learns to just take direction from those kids rather than always constantly just like source of excitement all the time. Like the dog is actually learning to do stuff for the kids, but at the same time, just limit how much he's getting exposed to that excitement. And the same thing, just like how you said, just like either teach him the place or just or create him like no one bothers him when he's in those different things. Um, I also feel like just educating how kids approach dogs is really important too. Like, hey, if
Every
he's
time we have kids that show up here, I have a talk with them right before bringing out the puppies, and I let them know no running,
mm-hmm,
right? And I explain I don't want you to kick a puppy. You know, I'm
mm-hmm,
not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be an adult, but these puppies, like even just walking around, they can end up under your feet. So no running. Do you understand? And usually I have to get on them a couple times, usually because they're so excited once they, and
yeah,
that's based on excitement, you know, and it's not anything that's malicious. It's just excitement. I get it, but I need them to maintain a calm mindset, and I need them to maintain a calm, demeanor and disposition, and that's another way that these kids can practice that, right? And I
yeah,
know they're perfectly capable of it, and it's just like we sell these dogs short with what I think we can expect more out of them. Same with our kids. You know, I think
yep,
that we can expect more out of them, and and it's just basically, um, the games are excellent, man. You know, I do a nice recall game with the kids where they hide in the house. I teach the kids how to get the dog to use their nose and not their eyes,
mm-hmm,
right? And I'm like, play hide and seek with that animal, but let him walk by you 5 times. And all 5 times he's using his eyes. But once he uses his nose, watch how quickly he finds you. And I said, report back to me, right?
yeah. No, it's like when you find games that it's like structured and it's practicing something like I do monkey in the middle with recall. We do the hide and seek, or just or or just you holding the leash while the kid has the treats and just work just helping them a little bit with the commands, or even like
I'll have them handle my own dogs, my trained dogs,
okay, that's a good idea
because
too.
I have because I can see how that my trained dog responds to that kid too, right?
Mm,
To see if that kid needs a little bit more assertiveness to it, or I mean, if the how comfortable that kid is. But I also want to show that kid what it feels like, and that's to handle a trained dog.
mm-hmm.
And and especially my little guy Ash, he's pretty good about that. Just letting different people handle him and give him the heel command and letting them walk him around and I think that that's kind of cool too. It's just to give them something that is a finished product that they can help to keep their eye on that big prize of where they're headed to, right?
Yep, yep. And yeah, it's just having the house rule, just having the communication with the kids in general, just make it simple. Like, hey guys, uh, this time Bowser's going for a nap. Don't disturb him. Or like,
Yeah.
hey, who wants to help me train Bowser? And it's just going back and forth. And of course, it's like sometimes I'll let the puppy just drag the leash so I don't have to like pick him up, or I can just grab.
Yeah.
It's like an extension of my hand in a way to help that out.
Yeah, yeah, and I also have a drag line on all the time for my new puppies.
Hmm.
When they're around the leash or whatever, I'll take a nylon rip cord, and then I just kind of put like a 3 foot drag line on them, so they can get used to this thing dragging behind them, and most importantly, that I can get quick control of that puppy when I need to, just by stepping on that line.
Yep.
I can pull them out if they get stuck underneath like a coffee table or something, and they're not coming out. I could easily pull them out of that area. So that's one thing that I definitely do is, and then they get some used to. that leash pressure too, especially around the neck.
Yeah.
Here we got. I want to see if I have another question here. Yes, we do. What's the question?
Let's see.
Oh, oh
Have
my
you?
gosh, I just look at that smile. My just took a, or I saw that picture of Poppy that I just took earlier where the dog is smiling.
No, that puppy is really cute. Oh, here's another question that I thought of. Like, for for like the moms that do like everything, they're the one that do all the nurturing, and they're like taking the pressure of all the training and all of that. Like, what if you feel like if you feel like those moms get or are so overwhelmed with just everything going on, whether they handle the school, like the kids schedule, or like, and then they have to do the dog, they're just overwhelmed with the dog training. What are some advice or tips that you tell those moms to just make the to just help the situation, like give them, like, do you suggest they take like a 30-minute break, or like just like what do you usually do when you work with those moms?
Well, I love dogs. I'm passionate about dogs, and I can make things really complicated, and that's not what you want to do with those moms.
Hmm.
I can go as deep as they want to with various aspects of the training, why we do it. Moms just want something simple.
Hmm.
And so keep it simple. And I structure it. I give them a schedule of the training that they can easily do with the kids, and but that crate time and the time that I mandatory for that dog to be in crates or be on those place commands to get that dog to kind of chill out and to start to get those calming cues, are very liberating for the mom,
Hmm.
right? Tethering that
Yep.
dog or whatever they need to do. The mom knows exactly where that animal is, and the other thing is that the mom knows exactly how to handle the kids with the animals too, right?
Hmm.
And so just by having a professional, and also knowing that I got mom's back with those kids too, and but the main thing is to keep it simple and to focus on one or two tasks at a time and not to
Hmm.
overwhelm them, right? And let's just focus. If sometimes it's just like, let's just do long line work, no walks, no anything. We're just going to focus on this and that's it. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, thank God, right? And so, and that's it. It's like, it's keep it simple. And the thing that I tell my clients is slow is fast and less is more, right? And so
Hmm.
when we're working with behavior, slow and steady is the course, and it is a journey. It's not necessarily a destination, but to know that we don't have to cram it all in at once either, and to end it on a good note too. That's the other thing too. Is like if you just had a wonderful, perfect uh, sit or automatic sit, and you guys are almost home, end it, go home, like end it, celebrate your victories, and look back and celebrate your victories. Don't get caught up with all the stuff that you need to work on or anything like that, but look back. And that's what I like to tell my people too, is like after like second or third time that I've met with them, I just have to tell them how proud I am of them, and because it's a totally different dog. This is a totally different experience walking into your house than it was the first time.
Hmm.
And that's telling me that you guys are doing the work, and that's telling me that you guys are making progress. And I just want to take a second to highlight that, to be thankful for that, because we are along this journey, and we're not, the ship has sailed. We're, like I said, making progress.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely good. Those are definitely good points. Just the fact that we always pay attention to like the bad stuff that the dogs do. And even for me, I am guilty of that sometimes, just because it's just I'm always so busy with work, and then like with my dogs, they're just they pick up habits like fence fighting or things like that. And for me, it's just like, well, I'm like thinking, to be fair, I didn't provide them stimuli until now, or like, we pay attention to all the bad stuff, and we don't appreciate all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like I tell my clients all the time, if you got 5 minutes, do the 5 minutes. Like it doesn't have to. The training doesn't have to be always like 20 or 30 minutes. Like dogs don't can't handle like 30 minutes unless it's like a Belgian Malinois or something. But it's like
Yeah, that's
eh,
minimum for the mouths.
minimum for the mouse. But just I tell them you can do like maybe one or two 10 or 20-minute sessions, or you could do 4 or 5-minute sessions with the dog, and just at least you get some repetition consistency, which is going to be your best friend. And worst case scenario, if like you have an off day or you're sick, just do something fun with the dog, just get them fulfilled, and then just go back home and just take it easy. Give yourselves the day off. Even just for the hardworking moms, I'm just like, listen, maybe have the husband take care of the kids and the dog. You do something fun, then you give them like a good chew in the crate, and you go for like a nice shiatsu massage, or just like just treat yourself, just because these poor moms are just working to the bone, and then by the time they get maybe at least 10 minutes or 5 minutes of quiet, and then 23 hour, like no, like maybe 10 hours at least of chaos where they have to like do everything. So
Yeah. Well, and the energetic residue that's built up in their brain of everything that they've done the day before, and all the kids and everything that's on the schedule. And I mean, there's just so much. And yeah, I mean, take a break, but also realize that this is a dog. And you guys, like, we're not at champion level training here. We're we want a cool dog. And that's
yep,
usually what my clients want. It's just a cool dog, man. They're like, we're uncomplicated people. We just want a cool dog that listens to us and that we don't have to worry about. And with that, we don't have to worry about biting our friends. We don't have to worry about barking their head off and being crazy. And a lot of my clients have multiple properties, so they like to take their dogs, to different properties. Or, I mean, some of them have boats or airplanes or whatever, and they want to bring those dogs on there. And it's just a process of working through um, working through the training in the way that the client wants to live their life. And I tell them, they say, how long do I do a downstay for? And I'm like, how long is your conference call tonight? Right? And they're like, 45 minutes. I was like, that sounds like a good downstay to me. Right? And they're like, okay. And I was like, how long does it take you to cook dinner? Speaking of dinner, I think I got a dog that is trying, Wyatt. Sorry, I got a 17-year-old dog who is trying to counter surf. Get in here. I just heard the tongs. Can you hear me, Kevin?
yep, I
Let
hear you.
me let me bring him in, dude. So even
Bring
as
it.
dog trainers, we have the guys like this
Oh my goodness.
that are old. This is my 17-year-old guy
Oh
who
my
just
goodness.
grabbed the cooking tongs off of the counter that we just had some steaks. Look at him licking his chops. So
Oh,
even as
naughty dog.
even as dog trainers, we still had to deal with naughty dogs, man. And I think when I come back for my Bow Wow Bill, what I'm going to do is dog trainer confessionals, where we talk about the crap that our dogs have gotten into as professionals. Because one of my clients was like, dude, I just picture like Valhalla, like doggy Valhalla. And I'm like, no. I'm
No.
like, it's not
Oh,
that at all, man.
hey, when you do those confessional videos, you sign me up. I've got my fair share. Like this guy took my whole Taco Bell chicken quesadilla, like, and just like brought it down to the table floor, and I was just like, oh my god,
I
you
think
sneaky little thing.
they're like, just like he did, man. Well, he's like senile. This guy's getting so bad, but they just get to this point where they're like, you know what? F it. It's worth it. Whatever trouble I'm gonna get into, that's gonna be worth it. And I'm all about that, And so, um,
Oh
but
man, no.
yeah, and they know when we're distracted. So that door was open, so I could tell, and I got these noise canceling headphones on, and then and now I got my puppies going crazy out here too. But
Oh man,
yeah,
I've
but
got.
that's the life, Even as dog trainers, we experience it. And I think that I think patience is key, dude. You know,
Absolutely.
patience and forgiveness, and just being able to kind of laugh at not only the situation, but you as a person, just kind of like just shrug yourself at what, the absurdity of some of the situations we might find ourselves in, and not take life so seriously, right? I think that there's a lot that can be said with that. I think people just take stuff way too seriously, and just like what we were talking about, praising your dog, and they expect this regimented, but and I'm like, man, he's doing really good. Why don't you tell him good dog? Because it looks awesome, man. And it's
Yeah.
like it totally interrupts their mindset of like they're looking and the parameters of what's expected of this dog, but forgetting the whole while to praise the dog in motion and praise the dog when they're doing exactly that which you expect of them, and to mark that, but also, have fun with your dog, laugh at your dog, laugh at yourself, even when they're being idiots
Yep.
like this guy, you know,
Yeah.
and enjoy the journey, man. Enjoy the relationship that you have, and with each dog that you have as well. And that's what's beautiful about me breeding dogs and being able to give them to families, is that I hand them to these little kids. And I remember myself as a little kid and the excitement that I had when I got my first dog. And I feel that familiar excitement. And
Yeah.
now I give them a dog, which I know that they're they're gonna have a lot of fun with, man.
Yeah. No,
You know,
definitely, man. Actually, I have two more questions just popped up for me, just because I had
cool.
I like, this is all because of the families that I work with, and they have like 2 to 3 kids, and they're husband and wife, and I get I got a couple of them saying um, what to do, and I kind of know the answer, but I wanted your takes on it, just where it's like what to do when like the dogs try to take food from like the kids' hands, or just
Mm.
just steal food while everyone's around. And then the other one was because when the mom is trying to exercise the kids and the dog at the same time, and the kids are like running ahead, or they're on their bikes and they're just way far away from those two, and the dog just wants to catch up, and just is just pulling mom. So I was like, I'm thinking like what to suggest for like for those situations, because I know it's like more, I know like with the food stuff, it's respecting the space and just not going into their space to steal the food. But of course, it's like kids have such, they hold the food so lightly. By the time the dog steals the food, they let go, and then the dog just gets reinforced, and they're
Yeah.
just like, once they get reinforced, they're gonna do it again.
Well, I first want to root down the command in something that we can use the food and the kids with the food as a proofing for that command, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
the dog looks at it as a test, and so they volunteer that they don't want to take that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I want to do, is like the place command, right? For instance, like have a place command and then have the kid walk up with some food, and don't give that dog a command to get off that place. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as the dog gets off the place to go up to the kid, get him back on that place right away, and show him
Right.
that the kid walking up with the food is not the cue for him to break that duration command to go after the kid, right? And so we've cemented that command into a duration command, and then use the kid with the food to help test that command
Mm-hmm.
and to help to generalize it, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what I would start. And same thing with like going after cats or anything like that. I want to root down uh, uh, like a tool or a command so the dog knows the right answer, and then I want to expand on that right answer with the distractions that we want to work on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yep. Yep. No, for
But
sure.
it's a process. But I want to focus the attention one place, and then bring back the distraction later um, to help ensure that dog knows that that's not acceptable. And then we could also, get an out command and teach that dog, that's not acceptable either. But I think that we have to start with a long line, especially with that pulling on the leash too. And that's that
Hmm.
fundamental stuff that we go back to. I'm a big fan of Keeler with the long line work.
Hmm.
And so that's what I would definitely recommend. And then using the kids on their bikes as something to draw that dog's attention. And so we can correct that and show that the dog needs to pay attention to whoever's handling that line above anything else in their environment, right? Right,
Gotcha.
Wyatt? And Wyatt's all pissed that he's in this room stuck here. My 17-year-old, but what am I going to do, dude? He's 17 years old. It's like you go to an old folks home and tell a 105-year-old that's having a fit because they want more pudding, how do you handle it? You just be patient, and you handle it with understanding gloves, and you handle it with compassion, and you handle it with dignity because he deserves that. And,
Yep.
and not only that, but he's deaf as a doornail, so I could tell, knock it off, and he's not going to care anyway.
Oh man. But yeah, I
But
mean, yes, but so just with the kids just running ahead and all that, just getting the dog to just focus on whoever's holding
So
the
what
leash and
right, I would start it with it very simple, like start the long line, 15-foot line, no slip
Mhm,
collar, so the collar can't slip off that dog's head. And then I would just start it very simple, go to a clear field, no stimulus,
mhm,
and then show the dog, like, look, you need to follow me. I'm walking over here. I'm waiting here for a minute or two. I'm walking over here, waiting here for a minute or two. Then once the dog gets that kind of overall gist of what I'm trying to focus or introduce him to, then I will start to introduce distractions. And then as
right.
soon as that dog takes off after that distraction, I'm going to do the antithesis of where that distraction is. And then, hopefully that dog gets a correction from that hitting that line. And then
Mhm,
once that dog hits the line, then they understand that they need to pay attention to you, right? And
mhm.
so then I up the ante with the distractions and might bring in the kid with the bike and see that and let the dog pay attention to you. And then once that happens, then we're ready for that next step of maybe doing bringing down to a 6-foot line, doing some corrective turns and an automatic sits.
Right on, right on. Awesome. Let's see. Oh, Larry Crone just tuned in.
What's up,
What's up?
Larry?
How's it going,
Stud
man?
muffin.
Stud man.
He is a stud muffin, dude. He's a great guy, man. He's a great guy, and he cares about people, and I don't know, he's just got a good heart, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about too.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I've seen his videos and he's just so down to earth. There's no edit videos. That's just him. And yeah, he just has a fun. He just he just says it how it is, and he has a fun time with the dogs. I do
He's
remember
authentic.
he's
He's
authentic.
authentic, and that's what I
Yeah,
like. And I've met him in person, and that's what I love most is looking at somebody in the eyes and shaking their hand. You know.
I I got nervous when I saw him like last year. Because and I watched a couple of his videos and like read his book. I want to read his book again just because the material got stick. But it's like it was funny too. He's also from the same county in New Jersey as I am. Like
Okay.
and it was just like, oh, you're in Lodi. I'm in Palisade Park. Then that's like a 10-minute difference. And I was just like, oh my god, that's crazy. It's like, see, there's another dog trainer from New Jersey that started off. So.
Where's his book at? Let me see if I got it here. I got it here somewhere. But the most important thing, that the takeaway that I tell my clients that have read his book, intermediate phase. That's it, man. Is like that introduction, and then we have that intermediate phase, and that's where yep, there you go, e-collar training, right? And even in NAPOPO and different philosophies, we really harp on that intermediate phase
Yep.
and getting it to the top of the pyramid. But spending a lot of time in that intermediate phase, and that's very important to help the dog get the generalization, and not just a lot of time, but a lot of different experiences in that intermediate phase, right? We're not just going down the street to our neighborhood park, right? We're going to different places and working the dog just as we do at home, and so we generalize that training in these different areas.
Hmm.
um, and then using the treat, using the e-collar, and using the command, and then pairing one or two with the other, or none, or that's what it's all about. And of course, I let him out, and guess what he's doing right now?
Oh my god. Well, this lets everyone know, dog trainers struggle with their dogs as well. So if you think so, we just cover it up really well. We just have really
Yeah,
we just make the dogs look good when we're out in public.
look,
You don't see what's behind the scenes.
yeah, look at him,
Uh,
dude. He knows he's in trouble. Look at him. Look at his chops. Oh
he's
my
just like I,
gosh.
he's just like it's worth it though. It was worth it.
Yes, it is.
Old man is hungry.
Yeah, he's old, dude. And that's it, man. We just take every day. We have two really old dogs, man. And they're just really old dogs. We take every day as it comes. And that's the other thing too that I have to tell people. I have to remind them about their old dogs
Yep.
and remind them, look, this is like grandpa. And a lot of times when I tell them that, they're like, oh my gosh, that dog isn't being defiant. He really doesn't hear you. That dog isn't being defiant. It hurts him now when he walks down those stairs,
Yep.
right? And not only that, but like, dude, he just was like trying to counter surf both times. And do you see how much trouble he's in? Like it's basically there's no point,
Yep.
in jeopardizing the relationship that we have on doing something that I mean, he probably doesn't even know if he's doing it. I don't know, but and especially the last, like he's never done this in his whole life, but in the last 6 months, he's just gotten this thing that he's a counter surfer now,
Hmm.
and he's gotten rewarded with a couple, big blocks of cheese, and so that's all he needs to. He's won the lottery, so he's going to take a while before he starts to chill out with that, but
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
definitely. I mean, it's just like that. It's just like the casino thing where it's like, oh, if I go up here, do I get something? Nope. And then like the fifth time, they're like, oh, look, Taco Bell, or look, butter, or like butter's been the number one thing that's been left on the counter, and the dogs like steal that so like so much just because it's there, but it's just like they're just like, oh, I win, and then they're like, can I get more? And then they find out they're like, oh my god, I can. It's like this is
Dude, a
great.
butter will last like 3 years, though, dude. That's like a 3 year like allowance of memory for that dog, dude, because that's some pretty high value stuff. And
Oh my god, I had a puppy that stole butter like 3 times, and it was just I was like,
Pecan did. Pecan stole the butter.
really?
Oh yeah, that dog is a feisty little dog that can get right up on the table.
Oh
And
yeah, he can jump in his crate. It's because he jumped into his
yeah,
kennel.
yeah, they're feisty dogs. And sometimes it's a double-edged sword when we're dog trainers that teach our dogs to jump really high and run really fast and be, because then they're like little hoodlums.
We train them to be hoodlums when we're not watching, or
Yeah, exactly.
we show them we show them what you can do. Then they're like, oh okay, I might as well use what dad taught me. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no,
Yeah.
just with the old dogs, they've gone through their stuff and they've helped us in so many ways, and they just given us this whole. They just give us with their presence, just being themselves. And
Yeah.
by the time they're old, I'm just like, you've done your dues, and it's like I understand. Yeah,
Well, no,
cut it.
even this guy, like if I even say his name, Wyatt, like he really doesn't even know his name.
Yeah,
And that's where I was just like, oh man, but he's happy. And
yeah.
that's what it seems like. He's happy. He's not really, really that confused, but it's also every single day I kind of have to evaluate, his quality of life. And we have a big ranch out here. So, that helps. But, yeah, it's rough. It's rough losing these dogs, and I mean, there's nothing worse. But I tell people, in the end, it's worth it too. So hold on one second. Hey, Alder, Alder. That's my puppy, Skipper Key.
Yep.
barking his head off. So he's out in the crate out there too. He's learned that he needs to, that's his telling me that he needs to go out and go to the bathroom.
Yep. We'll
But
wrap up soon. Just because it's like late, it's getting towards like 8 o'clock, so it's almost 8 o'clock. So, but
yeah, but that's it. It's like structuring the command to where the dog can get the right answer, and then using that and then using that kid to help proof the command is where I prefer. But some of this stuff needs to be met head on, and sometimes the dog needs to be corrected and shown, no, that's not a good idea. Period, dude.
mhm.
Don't take advantage of this child. And we can't fool ourselves that 80% of all dog attacks happen to kids. Hold on one second.
No
Hey, you
worries.
guys, Ixnay on the Arc Bay. Hey, shh. Oh goodness.
See, guys, this is the same thing we go through. It's not we don't not like for
I
you
just
guys
shut the
putting
door.
for you guys to put puppies in your crates and they go through they bark like this.
Same
We
thing,
we all
man.
we same thing, man. We all go through the same struggle. So
Well, I was telling one to be quiet, and like three more woke up. So I'm like, "Oh crap!" And then they're like, "Oh, it's on."
oh my
And
goodness.
but I mean, but it's time for them to eat. I have a big barn that I run them around in, and they could just be goofballs, and that's what I want, man. It's just happy, fun, goofball dogs, that are
Yep.
used to random kids picking them up, and I love the fact that now I have that unique experience of producing these dogs, and to be able to see them in that 2 month window that I typically didn't, because we'd get these puppies at 2 months and older, right?
Hmm.
And to just see those dogs and watch them grow as itty bitty puppies, man, as newborn puppies is really cool, dude. And to watch their process of how they develop, and also to watch the maternal process of the mom becoming, um, you know, uh, uh, just kicking in for her,
Yeah.
And it's very cool.
Well, just the fact that you know these puppies personally, and you being a trainer, just exposing them to all these different situations, and like having like these kids that are helping them get used to that context, and just making them more resilient, and the fact that they know how to handle these guys, and plus I'm sure you go through a little bit of a screening process where you know if the
Oh,
family is
absolutely. Yep.
appropriate, because
Yep.
like
Big time screening process. And I love, dude, I think about every single dog that I've sold, and I'm just so excited. And then
yeah.
not only that, but it's like they're all local. I ended up getting them all to be local here with me. So we're gonna have little barbecues, little family reunions. And this is where I'm headed, dude. I think that I'll be making some more dogs throughout the litters that I've producing in the future, and just creating a nice little community of
That's
family dog owners.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Because I just see so many people get dogs from like Craigslist, or like they get a puppy that was with a mom that was on the streets, let's say, that didn't have human contact or fearfulness, and then they bring this puppy into the home with the kid, and then it's just like this big mishmash of chaos, or just like it's just so important to just have family just research
Well,
what
good
happened.
breeding is a good thing, and not only that, but it's like if you studied biology of belief, Bruce Lipton, epigenetics, and the effect that the environment has on genetics, and the importance of raising that fetus in a lap of luxury, and to show how just well-rounded that puppy becomes, and higher IQ. And I mean, they're just so much a greater fit for a family dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I feel like just families just need to do a little bit more research. It's just like when they're getting it. It's like when they're getting a kid, like adopting a kid from somewhere, or just
It's a
be
decade decision. I tell people it's a decade decision. This dog lives for at least 10 years,
yep.
and it's going to affect your life for the next 10 years.
Hmm.
And so if you're making a decade decision, you think that people would we consider it for, at least a month or, a 2 or 3, or something. But usually that's not the case. A lot of times it's just minutes of consideration
Yep.
because
But
they try to
yeah.
think with their emotions.
Yeah, but it's cool. I love how you're doing it where you're helping the puppies and you're placing these dogs in these family homes and just creating this nice community of family and their family dogs because a lot of people want family dogs and they're just dogs who just can't handle that lifestyle or just can't handle all that chaos. Like they're dogs
Yeah,
that just might prefer being a one person dog or just being out on the ranch and just a different role or just a different lifestyle in a way. Just because there's so many incidents where kids get bitten by the dogs in their own house, and we just have I think just being careful about it and just really thinking about it is a big thought because a lot of people just buy dogs for the kids as gifts or
yeah, yeah.
what or just surprise. So
Well, and
um,
I tell them, the three biggest instances that children are bit by a dog is when the dog's eating, when the dog's mouthing an object like a toy or bone or a chewy or whatever, and then when the dog's sleeping. So we let sleeping dogs lie. We don't mess with dogs when they're eating, and we let the dogs chew on their bones,
yes,
and
sir.
we don't mess with them. So if we can alert the kids of those three instances, I think that we could put a pretty big dent in the statistics of dogs getting biting kids. But do you know what, man? I was bit by a dog. I remember I was messing with this dog that was sleeping by the fireplace, and I kept on messing with him because I wanted him to come play with me. And then he bit me, and I ran over to my mom and dad and be like, "The dog bit me," and they're like, "What were you doing to the dog?" And
Best answer, best
yeah,
question. Just like
and then that was it. I got in trouble from them too because I was messing with the dog and the dog, And so dogs, they communicate with like that, and that's just how, we have to have a dog that in case a child does get bit, that it's not going to be detrimental on that child or the health of that child. And that's the other thing is these powerful breeds sometimes that people will get. And just being smart about it. Like I said, it's a decade decision, and being a parent is a full-time gig in itself. So might
yes,
as
sir.
well do the due diligence and get the right dog for you and your family, and it will pay you dividends for the life of that dog.
Yep. No, for sure, man. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. I think we're gonna wrap up. But just in short, guys, when you got with all you hardworking moms out there, and or just like all the families that have dogs, just have a nice pattern with you have a good structure and pattern with your dog so they know what's up. Definitely give your dog some downtime, like whether it's having
Routine, routine
routine.
and schedule is very important. Very
Yeah,
important.
and then yeah, would definitely check out Bill's Amazon dog training list. That'll be a cool one to have. And yeah, for anyone that's out there in Seattle, he's got some bomb ass puppies.
Hit me up.
He's Bill is an awesome trainer. I can't wait to see you guys up
And you're
in.
welcome to come out here too, Kevin. You're welcome if you want to come up here to the Pacific Northwest, dude. You crash here.
Oh, I'll crash here.
I'll put you to
I'll
work.
play with all the. I will do that. I will work to play with puppies. Like I just saw them. I was just like, I just want to lay on the floor, just be bombarded by these puppies. They're so freaking cute, man.
Well, I
Uh,
better hurry because I only got a couple left.
well, I'm sure
For now.
now I know you're gonna have more. So it's just like I'll just schedule it when they come over. So
Yeah.
I'll have plenty of opportunities. But yeah, if you guys are up in Seattle area with where Bill is, hit him up. He's a great trainer. I've seen him attend Nipopo, and he's got a lot of good knowledge to him. And especially if you need a family dog, hit him up with those puppies.
Well,
And
and speaking of Napopo too, like one of the best, even with family dogs, number one training tool, and that's what I'm all about as well. So let me grab this bad boy here. We have the chameleon.
nice.
Yep, I love it. I recommend it for even my family dog. So that's one of the aspects of the working dog world that I've taken and adopted into my family dog training.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I definitely want to talk to you like separately about that because I was really curious with the chameleon and like I was gonna talk to Adrian with it as well because I mean
Absolutely.
it look it looks cool, but you know it's just like to
It's a little
to the
spendy.
public. Yeah, it's
But
a
I
little
tell them, look,
trendy.
you can't afford not to have this because of the animal welfare features that are within this device. And once we got it, we got it. You know, that's what I tell them. So it's a one-time fee. The collar runs about $700, and it's worth every penny, in my opinion. And so that's what I've been utilizing those, and learning from Michael and Bart Bellin has been very, very cool. And I also learned from Tony Anchetta, who does KMODT. I've learned from so many people, man, and I look forward to learning from Omar Van Mueller when this whole coronavirus thing goes away. And you guys don't know who Omar is, man. That guy is freaking next level. He's, in my opinion, the best pet dog trainer. I mean, he's an actor, like but he's an unbelievable what he can get these dogs to do. Um, and I think that we have a pretty good brain trust in the dog training industry, and that we can conquer a lot more with cooperation than we can with competition.
Yeah,
And
no, man, I'm all about networking, and that's why I wanted to do all these interviews just so if like because I have had clients that ask me questions where I'm just not sure, and I love a fresh perspective and like just it just helps me and it helps the client, which is a win-win. And plus, no IC since there was no conference this year, it gives me a chance to just catch up with great trainers like you guys. It's really I
awesome.
really appreciate just everyone, especially you, just coming out to just be part of this whole interview thing.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for considering me, and thank you for just doing this, dude. That's what I was telling you, man. Is just do it, and just be yourself, and just like Larry's authentic, you be authentic, and I enjoy the person you are, and I look forward to watching you grow and learn, and I commend you for taking action and filling the void that was created by this whole COVID thing. And I'll be streaming live again, and I want to invite you right now to come on one of my live streams.
Yes, sir. I would love to. I'd be honored.
Okay, we'll do it. So we'll be going live, and then we'll continue our conversation. But also, man, if you ever need anything from me, feel free to reach out. And if anybody needs to get a hold of me, it's bowwowbill@gmail.com. 206-353-BILL. Sorry, 206-353-2455. Um, and or my Facebook page, or my personal page, you're welcome to send me a message. And I like chatting
Yep.
with people all the time, and I really like this adventure and where it's taken me, and I look forward to the future, and growing as a trainer and as a breeder, and yeah, look forward to having you out here one of these days, man.
Yes, sir. I couldn't have said it any better. But yeah, guys, for you guys with with families or just dogs or people that have problem with their dogs, just take the time, find a trainer, support local businesses, especially with COVID going around. We need it. And just yeah, let a dog trainer help you out and just give you the routine, give you the advice that you need to make your family coexist in harmony. And also for you hardworking moms, please take that shiatsu massage. I'm sure your husband can afford to handle the kids for like an hour or something, and the dogs. So, all right,
Pamper
guys.
yourself, ladies. Pamper yourselves.
Yeah, take care of yourself. You got don't get burned out from your family and dogs. So, all right, guys.
Self-love.
Self
Self-love is
love.
very important.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and then again, just like how Bill said, go ahead, just message us if you got any questions, if you need anything, we'd be happy to answer. And yeah, guys, we're gonna call it a night, and hope everyone had a good time watching this. And Bill, thank you again.
My
You are
pleasure, my
awesome.
brother. You are.
So thank you, man. It means a lot to me. All right, guys, everyone has a good night, and give a shout out again to Bill. So
Good night, everybody, and thank you, Kevin, and everybody have a good evening. We'll talk soon, I'm sure.
yes, sir. All right, guys, peace.